Hello and welcome to Business Africa, your most authoritative business program in Africa. I am Afolake Oyiloye. The top stories this week. Burkina Faso's national plan for economic and social development. Agriculture, a most viable business on the continent. And Bolloré Group invests in electric vehicles on the continent. For the next 5 years, Burkina Faso's authority will focus on structural transformation on the country's economy and the welfare of its people via its National Plan for Economy and Social Development. The plan is expected to help reduce poverty to a large extent by creating 50,000 jobs annually. Jean-David Mihamle and Kenneth Karuri reports.
Burkina Faso is hoping to kickstart its economy with an ambitious plan that is aimed at ensuring a sustainable development, which in turn is expected to enable an average growth rate of 7.7% and create 50,000 jobs every year. The government is hoping to achieve this goal through its National Plan for Economic and Social Development. My government's intention is to implement full structural reforms in all sectors in order to make the national economy much more competitive and also attractive. The business environment is important. Those who come to Burkina Faso must be assured. The overall cost of implementing the plan is estimated at around 23.5 billion euros, of which the West African nation will finance 60% from its own funds. But security challenges still top investors' concerns. Security issues have become global issues, and Burkina Faso is not immune to these. What is important is for us to continue working, not to be intimidated, and not to be distracted by these terrorist attacks. To enable the success of its National Economic and Social Development Plan, Burkina Faso intends to leverage on its energy and transport sectors, demographic control, and the reform of its civil service. The government is also promising to promote good governance to create a healthy climate for investment.
Agriculture goes beyond just a way of life. It is said to be one of the most viable sectors that could not only address the high rate of youth unemployment on the African continent, but also feed its people. In this light, young entrepreneurs, now known as agripreneurs, receive support from the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, and from African Development Bank to start up their businesses. Michael Dibi and Ruth Lago have more.
It's been estimated that 100 million young people will be entering into the labor market by 2030, as the availability of jobs might be a major challenge. Agriculture is, however, a viable sector in creating jobs for most youths. In 2012, the Youth Agripreneurs Program was initiated by the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture with a hope to tackle youth unemployment to a large extent and stimulate the involvement of youth in agribusiness. The project is endorsed by African Development Bank.
Okay, we cannot leave agriculture to the hands of the aged people who are weak, who are not strong, who are cultivating just 1 hectare. We need to bring more vibrant people and to move agriculture not only as on-farm, but also off-farm. That's where the money is. We want to bring people to do processing, to do marketing, and then to make sure that most of what we import, we can produce locally and cut off this import, which is draining the foreign exchange of African governments.
Ahadi Yasin Katera is an emerging impact agripreneur from Tanzania and CEO of Gove, the first commercial-grade producer of quality organic fertilizer in Tanzania.
Of course, there's this problem of funding, and I have a different perception of funding. You need capital to grow a business and not capital to start a business. We started actually struggling, bootstrapping, using our own few resources, moving here and there, but in the process we were able to win some of the awards that helped us run the business.
According to the estimation of the president of African Development Bank, Akihumi Adeshino, Africa spends $35 million a year on food importation And if nothing is done before 2030, Africa may spend $110 billion a year on food. With 75% of what's able land, Africa could feed 9 billion people by 2050.
Right after this break, we'll be talking about electric vehicles with the regional director of Buluri Group.